God, what a beautiful day here in South Florida this time of year. 80s, just perfect. Anyway, I thought I'd go back and talk a little bit about what we talked about yesterday as far as understanding dry fasting as a method yearly of removing the stuff that you're exposed to all year long. It's really interesting to think about that because in both my books I talk about this. You know, this is an extremely dangerous planet. We've polluted it with 90,000 man-made chemicals, and it's all the way to the Arctic. Plastics, microplastics, all over the place in the oceans. It's affecting the food supply, it's affecting the quality of the foods everywhere. So, that being said, because you're ingesting this, it's being stored in you and sequestered where it can't do much damage in fat. So, you dry fast for 5 to 7 days, you lose 15-20 pounds of that stuff, and boom, you get rid of the problem that's happened all year long. Now, the way this kind of works, though, think about it. If you get rid of the fat in the first 7-day dry fast, you've accumulated and all the toxins and all this stuff for decades of you know, basically user error, and you'll do it again. Just do a 5 or a 7 the next year, and you'll notice hardly any of that comes out because it took that long to accumulate that much. So, do you think you can do a year's worth and not really do much damage to yourself with the habit you currently have? I mean, this isn't a hall pass. This is an opportunity to reestablish a kind of metabolism that really is healthy during the year and really does help, you know, restore stuff. But if you don't, then you keep eating, you keep accumulating, and you end up dying in 70 to 90 years. That's just the way it is. So the Phoenix Protocol is indeed a protocol. It's not just dry fasting. I mean, dry fasting is really critical because you have to get rid of this impact, this pressure, these insults from these chemicals on your metabolic processes. And if you don't, man, you're going to experience all the arthritic and horrible disease and diabetic changes in the physical body, having to deal with all this junk dragging along like a great big cart that keeps more being piled into it. And but if you can just drop the cart, it's easy to walk again. So that's kind of why, you know, we call this a protocol. Dry fasting helps get rid of the garbage so that it makes it easier to walk again. The protocol involves also realizing that during the year you still have senescent cells erupting from old cells that have, you know, depleted their ability to either replicate by their Hayflick number or are insulted so much by radiation or whatever, toxins from the food, so forth, to not reproduce. And you have to get rid of those all year long. It happens all the time. You know, we use Fisetin to do that, and we use resveratrol to activate the NAD because resveratrol, like in this picture, nests in the sirtuins and is associated with the production of NAD, which is what sirtuins need to be activated, to deacetylize, to take acetyl groups and tags off of genetics like viruses and damages epigenetic additions that shouldn't be there on the genome or the histones. That takes those off. So if you activate those sirtuins, they, all 7 of them, can really keep the cells clean. So resveratrol really helps because if you can keep the cells clean, you reduce that attrition rate from the Hayflick number. You slow that down. If you work on your gut and other stuff, you can even slow it down even further. Only dry fasting gives you the ability to activate the stem cells, the original genetically coded cells that made you you, that sleep in you while you eat every day. Got to stop eating for at least 2 days to wake them up. So most people never stop eating for 2 days to wake them up. Anyway, that's what the whole thing's all about. A 5-day may be the way to incorporate this. Let's say you use a 7, and you get rid of all the toxins, and you feel better, and you'll notice some changes. Everybody that does this, something was bothering them that no longer is after the dry fast. You might not eat a 7 after that. 7 may be enough to clean you up from all the stuff you've been with, and the subsequent 5-day dry fast may be the way to incorporate dry fasting into your yearly regime of, you know, moderate exercise and eating proper foods and pretty proper carnivore fat. You know, we're lipivores and carnivores. That's how we started. That's how this thing formed. The other apes don't have that because they only eat plants. Take note, everybody. So keep eating the meat, but add the butter in. If you don't want to eat the meat fat from whatever they might have killed, you know, fed the cows, then yeah, you could cut the fat off the beef and just eat most of the protein and add back grass-fed butter. That'll give you the stearic acid and palmitic acids and all the great stuff that'll make your hormones that plant fatty acids can't. You make the hormones in the body, and it comes from fat-derived cholesterols. So anyway, that's kind of the thing I want to add, is that, yeah, it's kind of a hall pass, isn't it? I mean, when you think about it, you can kind of eat what you want if you want. If you don't want to stop drinking the wine and eating cheese and going to the clubs and eating fried mozzarella sticks and all other crap out there, then yeah, dry fast. You can probably still do that and not hurt yourself. If you keep doing it, you will hurt yourself. Take some time off. You spent, 15 to 2,500 weeks alive on planet Earth so far, depending how old you are. You can take a week to add maybe another 500 or 1,000 weeks to the game. Maybe you'll think about it that way. Anyway, that's the message today. Try 5 days. 5 days, almost as good as a 7 day once you've completed a 7 day, because it takes care of what happens in a year. Well, it's not the